Good evening, good evening, happy weekend. Hope all is well to everyone out there. Shout out to the chat. Thank you guys for being super early. Shout out to Uncommon Sense with Jose and the Grown. Shout out to Mrs. Nightcap. Hey boo, happy to see you here. Shout out to the 18th letter. Hope you guys are all having a great weekend. Thank you guys for pulling up on time, ready to chit chat with me. Special shout out to Mrs. Nightcap. Arrow, happy to see you, boo. For those who you don't know her, this is my homie, my love, Danielle. She's been on my platform many times before with other guests. Shout out to Common Sense with Jose and the Grown, dropping all that union info for all the city workers. You know what I'm saying? Thank you guys for being here with me. Tonight, y'all know what it is. We talking about Why Men Cheat Part 2. I did a Part 1. For those of you who didn't see the Part 1, it was a really short preview, about maybe 15, 20 minutes the most. And I was just pretty much talking about what I thought, what men told me, what I Googled. I just wrapped it up like that. I definitely planned for tonight to happen. So again, people could jump on the stage and, put their 2 cents, their jewels, their perspective on the conversation. Because, I'm just one person. I only speak to a few people. So, the entire world has their own review and point on this conversation tonight. So I definitely know people got a lot to say. But before I get into any more tea, I want to just definitely show some love to all the people that have been showing me love from day one, A1. You know what I'm talking about. I appreciate you guys so much. So shout out to my day one subscribers, people that have been there with me from the very beginning, before slides, before cards, before all of that. In addition to that, shout out to the people who are new here. Thank you guys for coming through, loving me, supporting me, liking the reels and the shorts, and liking all my social media platforms. Thank you guys for pulling up on me. There's so much to talk about in this conversation. I feel like I'm not going to do most of the talking tonight. Most of the talking is going to be by other people. But I do want to do like a little recap of, what part 1 was about, and what my short was about on YouTube. So really, really quickly, I'm going to just really tell y'all, for everyone who didn't see part 1, who didn't catch the 15-minute chat about Why Men Cheat, what I thought, what I Googled, what some fellas told me. I'm gonna just really, really quickly just go down the list of everything I, talked about in part 1. So one reason was lack of love. Niggas be cheating because of lack of love. Number 2, niggas be having low self-esteem. Number 3, niggas be brokenhearted. Number 4, culture and religion. Number 5, the environment, what they saw growing up around them. Number 6, learn habits, kind of like environment. Number 7, these niggas be having fucking mommy issues. Just the way same girls be having daddy issues, these niggas be having fucking mommy issues. So again, not trying to be negative, but definitely want to open it up to everybody here. So shout out to Irby. What's good? Thank you for coming through, Irby Fatel. Shout out to everybody. The chat is lit. Definitely want to show my love to all the people here. Everyone here in the chat does not necessarily have a channel, but please make sure you subscribe to Uncommon Sense with Jose and the Grown. He does has a channel. He goes live several times. Nightcap, she will be having a channel soon. That's my homie. Me and her are gonna definitely collab and do some things together on some going sexy-ish real soon. So wait for that to happen. But I'm pretty sure at some point you may see me on Nightcap's channel, whether it's here or Facebook. That's something coming soon. But me and her gotta talk more behind the scenes about that. In addition to that, the 18th letter, please make sure you like and subscribe to his channel. He be having all the music, the old school joints, you know what I'm saying? All the nice melodies, real good, soulful, heart, the millennial conversations where we came from our era. He's about all that shit right there. So definitely make sure you follow and subscribe to him, as well as Irby Fatal. Definitely subscribe to the channel. You'll see a lot of things you'll like on that channel. So give some love, show some support. You know what I'm saying? That's how we do. We keep that energy in the circle. We showing love to everybody here. So thank you guys for all pulling up on me. It's a beautiful weekend. Hope you guys had a great weekend. What's up with y'all? What y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? What you done for your weekend so far? Hope you guys had a great time, whatever you guys doing. I actually went shopping. Some of you guys know I got a new gig, so I bought a couple new outfits, whatever the case is, So like look like I got my life together behind the scenes, whatever the case is. But this conversation ain't about the new job, whatever the case is. So I want to know if y'all want to come up. So who wants to come up on a panel tonight? Let me know. I'm gonna definitely drop the link to the channel in in a few minutes. I do want to go over a couple of little things real quick. So I don't know how many of y'all are fans of the TV show on Stars called BMF, Black Mafia Family, but I'm about to sound a little chicken head, but I love the show. Shout out to Big Meech and all of them, but I be watching Big Meech and Terry and all of them on the show every week, and long story short, what I want to get into specifically regarding this conversation is we all know there's a current affair going on with Mr. Charles and his wife. But hold on, I'm forgetting something. I'm doing a lot of talking and I'm like missing my points of what I'm supposed to be doing. So this part of the segment, I'm sorry, is called chit chat, where I'm not talking about the main topic, but I'm talking about other stuff. And I definitely have like a little banner that I want to promote and show. So here it is. Chit chat. Chit chat. BMF Mr. Charles. Mr. Charles is Misha Terry's father. He's having an affair on his wife with his wife's neighbor or friend, whatever you want to call it, somebody in the neighborhood, somebody that his wife knows and she hangs out, whatever case is. And if you've seen the last few episodes, it got real nasty, real raunchy to the point where the girl been popping up at the house, unexpectedly when the wife is home, being all disrespectful, what I'm saying, and in his house, and been really giving him the best sex of his life, really making him feel like, all manly and masculine. And it relates to tonight's topic of why men cheat, and again, what I think about Mr. Charles, love the show, and I see how he got, drifted from his wife, whatever the case is, but I can't believe, he got so caught up with this lady. And this episode yesterday, the wife found out and was about to hit this bitch in the head with a fucking frying pan. Yo, that shit got real. I was like, she gonna crack this bitch in the head with a frying pan. She gonna crack her. She gonna crack her to the white meat. But she didn't crack her, but she really got up in her face and was lying her on like, bitch, you're not invited to my house, don't talk to my family, blah, 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 blah. She let the whole black woman come out of her, whatever cases. But shout out to 50 Cent and producer BMF. I love that show. Next thing up, Blueface and Krishan Rock. Okay, I'm not a blogger or blogger, but everyone knows who Blueface is. Bust down, Tatiana, bust down. Let me see you wipe it up and bust it back. All right, that nigga, right? And the girl Krishan Rock, who is, I guess, a rapper, his girlfriend, ride or die, whatever the case is. So allegedly this girl is pregnant right now, whatever the case is. And we already know she was threatening the other baby mother. He got like 2 kids by or 3 kids by at this point. And allegedly on the blogs they're talking about that he just got recently busted cheating on her again with some girl, and it's all over the the blogs and the internet, everything like that. So I'm like, well, Krishan Rock. You're such a beautiful girl. We saw you before before Blueface, what your life looked like, how your body looked, what your career was going, and it's like, God, this guy has just been like so. I ain't gonna just say him. It's like, girl, you're still young. You got a chance. Like, you have to just live your life. You've been missing episodes, Irby. Yo, you gotta catch up. These episodes are like crack good. Yo, y'all watch this BMF. These episodes are super good. But back to the Blueface and Krishan Rock situation. Allegedly, Krishan Rock was pregnant, and Blueface just got caught cheating with some girl, and the girl already showed all the pictures and videos to the tabloids, gossip channel, Jade Room, and all of that, whatever the case is. And Lord, if y'all follow Krishan Rock and Blueface, y'all already know it's about to be an altercation. I only know one song from Blueface, which is that Tatiana shit with Cardi B on the remix. Besides, I don't know no other music by him. I don't know no music by Krishan Rock, but she's a beautiful young girl. She's super young. She's really pretty, really talented. Besides the whole rap thing she's doing right now, no hater shades to her, whatever the case is. But just fits the topic for tonight. So moving along, there'll be a full disclaimer in tonight's episode. When I drop the panel, I just want to ask for respect. I don't want anybody talking on top of each other. I don't want you guys being too long-winded. Please try to wrap up your points, in a timely fashion. I want everyone who wants to come up have the opportunity to speak and say their points. And, I don't want anything to be combative. This is all love. This is an open atmosphere. This is Cachelle's atmosphere, Cachelle's space, bringing positive energy and positive vibes, so want to keep it cute and classy, but I want to hear the tea. I want to know what the fellas think. I want to know what the ladies think. I want to just hear y'all viewpoints and y'all thoughts. But before I go any further, I'm going to really just, do a real detailed special shout outs to certain people who have really been super duper supportive. So special shout outs to Golden Goddess, Uncommon Sense, Jose and the Grown, as I said earlier, the 18th Letter, Introvert Weekwa, Suds and Satin, Blessed Beauty 78, Danielle Jackson, as you see right now, her name is Nightcap, Tampa Supreme, Hazel Green, Marina Reyes, Multi, and Third World Columbia. You guys have been like so supportive. Thank you guys for all the love, all the support this far. I'm just checking up all my little notes and everything, make sure I got it all together. I ain't missing nothing before I drop the panel link. And one last thing, what do you guys think? Do you guys prefer when I have my video camera on off? Does it really make a difference? Like I'm trying to think, do I need to be on all the time? Because every time I do a show, I'm ready to get my whole ring light, my banner, put my makeup on, get a cute outfit, and make sure everything looks pretty. And sometimes I do all of that and I still keep the camera off because I just feel like, I don't really feel like showing my face and showing their face. Does it really matter if I have my camera on or off? Just one wants to know that. So if you feel any way about that, please put a comment in the chat. Let me know what you think about that. Yeah, that's something I be dwelling on me, which is why I've been doing like pre-recorders because I feel like it just be a little bit, stress for no reason for me. But enough of that. Ready to talk and get your ideas, and you can keep it off. Okay, Rakim, I feel you. Yeah, because I ain't looking cute all the time, only sometimes, and I feel you, Jose, whatever makes you comfortable. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna keep it off. Maybe I'll turn it on exclusively when I hit like 1,000 subscribers. I'll put like a goal mark to my YouTube journey. Like, when I hit this amount of subscribers, I'll keep it on whatever the case is. But I'm talking a lot, and before I actually drop the link to the panel, I want to actually share my screen, and I want to actually show you guys the last video, the last short reel I posted, talking about part one of Why Do Men Cheat. So just to recap for everyone who probably honestly did not see it, I know you guys love me and support me, but I know you guys have lives, and maybe some of you guys have not seen it. So excuse me, I want to just share my screen really quickly. Danielle said, "Put that camera on." I don't got my lip gloss popping right now. My lips kind of dry. That was crazy. But hold on, I want to share my screen real quick, and I want to just show you guys the video I have put on YouTube recently in my reels or my shorts, regarding this conversation. So here it goes right here.
Fellas, we want to know why y'all do it. Why y'all do it? Pull up this Saturday. Wine FaceTime open panel. Why men cheat? Who can tell it better than you guys? Y'all the men. Pull up. Why y'all do it? Why? Let us ladies know. Pull up.
Okay, so that was the little recap of me posting pretty much prior to this week, getting this amp and promoted. Like, why y'all niggas do what y'all do? Why y'all do it? For the longest time, I feel like me personally, I'm not supposed to drop the link, but hold on, I want to talk for a minute because I'm probably not gonna talk for the rest of the stream. But Irby, catch up to those episodes. We gotta talk. Catch up to those episodes. But for the longest time, as far as this whole wine and FaceTime and being a YouTube creator and everything like that, I've been thinking, oh, I gotta keep my camera on so people can see me, they can identify with me. But sometimes be too much. It really be too much sometimes. But yeah, part one was really short. Part two is for all of you guys to come and put your 2-3 cents in. And I want to hear from y'all. So I'm not gonna play the whole recap of part one, although it's only 15 minutes. I'm not gonna make that drag out. That's not even necessary. But shout out to Simple Supreme. Thank you for coming through. I'm gonna drop the link right now because I feel like I'm talking a lot, and I really want to hear from y'all. One moment. Boom. Okay, link has just been dropped to the chat. Anybody who likes to come up and share their viewpoints on, why men cheat, if it's any of the things I covered in part one, if it's any of the things I just covered in the short reel I just shared with y'all when I share my screen, is there anything I did not mention? Let me know. Hopefully men and women will chime in tonight and give their viewpoints on, why this happens, So for me, for a long time, I was very shallow minded with it. I think for me personally, I have my first guest. Guys, I have my first guest. I'm not gonna let them up yet, but 1 second. I'll see you. I'll be right with you. No, one moment. For a long time, I really thought that okay, men cheat because they're looking for a more desirable looking woman. They're looking for a more beautiful woman, a more curvier woman, a more voluptuous woman. But no, that is not the answer. It's not always about the woman that looks more beautiful, more voluptuous, more curvy. It is not always about that. So, without further ado, I'm going to introduce my first new guest coming up on the stage. You guys know him as Mr. Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. So, welcome to the stage, Jose.
Good evening, Keisha. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Thank you for joining the panel. I'm doing well. How are you?
Okay, about 9:15, I'm gonna have to leave because I'm getting ready for another night of doing overtime. But I do have some thoughts regarding the topic, though.
Okay, please share.
Okay, First of all, I think when we do have to understand that there are some people, both male and female, just cannot be in a monogamous relationship for whatever reason. Now, as far as why men cheat, there are multiple reasons. Okay. The first one being is that they were not honest with themselves, knowing that they get into a relationship with a female, knowing that they cannot be committed to one person. Also, other reasons could be some could be a form of revenge because the lady, for whatever reason, played him dirty. Other times it's for excitement. Other times it could be because he's looking for something from the other slut du jour that his main squeeze is not providing sexually. So there are multiple reasons why men cheat.
I agree. As a 40-year-old to a 30-year-old to a 20-year-old to a teenager, my mindset about answering that question has changed. As I've become a grown woman and, become a mother and have children and, been married and, divorced and, situations, whatever, whatever. So, I've definitely understood, why that has happened over time, never justifying any of the times it's happened, but, not even with me directly, but, seeing with family members, close friends, celebrities, social media, you just seeing it in different, religions and cultures and age ranges and, people of different, financial backgrounds. You just know it can happen to anyone.
Yeah. And one thing that people, well, okay, let me put it this way: us men fail to understand is that when we do stray, what we have done is we destroyed something which is called trust that you ladies have for us men, and also it also creates a sense of low self-esteem regarding why did my man have to go get his home cooking elsewhere. Okay. So whenever a guy strays, he creates a lot of trust issues, and sometimes those trust issues could never be resolved. And what that does, it leaves a lot of emotional trauma on the female. So now she's thinking, well, maybe all the guys are going to do the same thing.
Yep, that's definitely true. I feel like women blame themselves. I know I definitely blame myself, like, oh, I wasn't pretty enough, I wasn't, thick enough or skinny enough or light enough or brown enough or my hair wasn't this, like you definitely, blame yourself as the woman, like, what am I doing wrong? That's the first thing you think about. You don't necessarily think about anything about what's going on with the other person. You just automatically take all the responsibility and think that you're the reason why this happened, and because of something you did wrong, now this is your situation, and you think that you have to fix it, you think you have to do something within yourself to make this not happen, and then you go through these situations where you do all these changes or you do some changes to yourself and it still happens, and you're like, okay, so I'm really not the problem. So that's when you start to learn it's not necessarily about the person you're with, it's about the person themselves.
Correct, because the fact that look, I mean, you could have a woman who's doing everything correct with her man, and unfortunately, for some reason, the man will cheat. Okay, and it could be something that's deficient regarding him, that he feels that he needs to fulfill that with someone else. I mean, the fact of the matter is there is no excuse for being unfaithful, and
One
sometimes.
Sorry, not to cut you off. I just wanted to announce I have a new guest coming up on the screen as well. You can definitely finish your comment. I just want to announce them and let them come up. So I have Mrs. Danielle Jackson coming up. Hey, girl.
What's up?
Hi. I want to let Jose finish, and I'm gonna let you chime in, Danielle. Okay.
Okay. So thank you. Good
Hey,
evening, Dan.
Jose.
Good evening.
Hi,
Now,
Jose.
good evening. Now, as I was saying before, the fact of the matter is, it could be very, traumatic for a female, especially if the female knows in her heart that she was a good female, that she was a loyal, loyal companion, did everything that she did. She stood by the guy's side with through thick and thin, and even with that, the guy decided to stray. And sometimes relationships could not be saved. It all depends how the people are going to respond to an act of betrayal, whether it be sexual betrayal, emotional betrayal, or what have you.
Absolutely. That's definitely a good point. People don't see the unraveling and like the domino effect it has. So thank you for commenting. I definitely agree with that. Danielle, how you doing, girl? First off, and what you got to say about
I'm good. Um, I think that sometimes it's just not an answer on why men cheat. Why did you cheat on me? Do you love her? Do you like her more than you like me? It may not even be that. Sometimes it's just literally no answer to it. And that's for men and women. But since we're talking about men, I'm going to just say men. I think that also some women need to understand in relationships, they could be the problem too. And they contribute to the reason why men cheat. So it's not always, if it's a situation where, oh, you cheated just because like I felt like chasing tail or whatever, like a reason would be because these women don't know how to treat their men in relationships. I
mm,
think that's the reason why. And a lot of women don't want to take accountability for that. We're not perfect. People mess up. Some of these women treat these men raggedy as hell in a relationship, and that's what causes them to cheat. And I also think that on both parties, we need to understand that people also cheat because they forget that you will never get 100% from someone in a relationship. You might get that 80%, but your partner got to be willing to fill that 20% that they feel like is missing. But instead of working on that, they go out and seek it from other people.
mm.
Is
You just spoke for the choir just now. Well, I hear that. Who was KC? Right in the chat, KC. Who are
Oh,
you?
that's my brother.
Okay, cool, no doubt. Got a new guest coming up to the stage for the first time. Introducing KC. Wants to make sure you was legit, not no robot or no spam person, because I had a couple of winks in my screen before. Welcome to the panel.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if you've been listening, but tonight we're talking about why men cheat. It's an open panel pretty much for everyone to give their perspectives or their viewpoints on, what they think their reason is. I kind of went through some general reasons why I saw on Google and what some men and fellas told me, what I thought, and it just you can feel free to add whatever you want to add to the conversation from your perspective.
Got it. Got it. Let me see. I think before, like, men cheat just because they like lack of discipline, and if they're able to do it. So if I know that I could cheat and she either going to stay or she not going to find out, then I'm gonna continue to do it. But for some guys, like, they cheat, but they don't necessarily care. It's more of a feeling that something is missing. So it's like if they're asking their partner, "Hey, I might like this sexual act," and she's either not doing it or it's always an excuse, and he finds someone who's going to do it, he just going he's just going to do it. Doesn't mean like he loved the girl or anything like that. It's just it's available, and that's how it is for some guys.
I feel you on that too because I feel like we all know somebody in our close circle and our family that's getting cheated on. Somebody we work with that's getting cheated on. It could be a celebrity in the tabloids, on the blogs. That's getting cheated on. A real celebrity like Barack and Michelle. We all know someone who's going through it. We all been through it. We've been the cheater. We've been cheated. We've all been through it. If you haven't, you're not even human. You don't live on Earth because I don't know who the fuck you are if you've never had this experience or don't know anyone close to you who's had this experience. So, I understand, people become devastated, it changes their feelings for future relationships. It can be situations like, what, I ain't fucking with no bitches from the ghetto because, all them bitches cheat, or I ain't fucking with no bitches from weeds because, you can get stigmatized and have stereotypes and, you can like block your blessings in the future because of your past sometimes. So like we all understand it happens for sure it happens. But I think for me, I always thought men did it because they look for something more obtainable, a prettier girl, or Indian looking, or more Spanish, and something that looks more that they can reach and more desirable, But it's not really always that. It's all these other reasons. But I have a new
Mm-hmm.
coming up to the panel. You guys know him. He's the 18th letter, also known as Rod Kim from Chicago. Chi-town, Chi-town. Introducing the 18th letter. Hey,
Hey.
Shout out to everybody on the panel. How y'all doing tonight? Shout out to you, Michelle.
thank you. So,
Good.
Yeah.
we
Hey,
talking
KC,
about,
what's going on, brother?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Can't complain. Shout out to my YouTube dad, Jose Negron.
I ain't gonna front,
Thank
I
you.
like this balance because there's three men up here and two women, and this is all about y'all. So y'all talking. Y'all should be telling the ladies, like, listen, I don't be thinking with my little head all the time, just sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all gotta be telling us the tea right now. So spill the beans, rock him.
Well, I think sometimes too, it can be a double-edged sword on both aspects of things when you look at it because sometimes it can just be straight up temptation. Like for
Mm-hmm.
some guys, you can have what you want at home and everything can be doing well, but sometimes men are attracted to women. So sometimes you can view other women and just like, you can be led on, by temptation. You can look at for certain guys too that they'll have everything they need, but even let's say celebrities and stuff like that. But they'll have these women throwing themselves at them and it'll be really hard to resist at times. So I think temptation does play a part in it, and it's so many different reasons, man. It's so many different
Yeah.
reasons because you can have like uh two, people can pick up on if people are passive, and this goes for men and women, but we're talking about the men today. People can pick up, and if the woman is more passive, or they feel like the woman emotionally needs them, and they able to get away with it because it's not going to be any consequences to it. Men will cheat based off of that. It can be a multitude of things. Like sometimes it's because they're not happy if they're not really active in a sexual manner as well. Men can go getting
Mm-hmm.
it for somewhere else, and it depends on the age bracket because on different age brackets, men cheat for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Irby Fatal. Want to shout, shout, shout. He like, don't forget the men in the chat. My bad. We feel the manosphere in here. We feel it.
Absolutely.
But I agree with you too. And I feel like sometimes
Yeah.
it's almost like, sorry to cut you off, Danielle. It's almost like, depending on the type of man, it's like not that it's expected that he can cheat, but it's like, well, he a basketball player, so you know how those niggas do, or he's an actor, so you know how those niggas do, so it's not like it's okay, but it's like, when you hear about them cheating, it's not
It's
like,
accepted.
yeah, it's more accepted, and it's not like, accepted depending on different, I guess, arenas or financial
Mm-hmm.
status or social status. It depends, like even when Bill Clinton, the whole Monica Lewinsky thing went going on, I feel like she got more negative press than he did. Like, ooh, she's,
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Like, she got more of the negativity than he did. Like, he was still shaking hands, doing business and everything like that. Like, yo, but you the president though, but I'm saying you the first president who got in the white, like yo, like but no, no. You know what I'm saying? It's still the same thing. Whether he's the president, the janitor, the sanitation man, the postman, the teacher, same shit.
Yeah, but in all fairness, I mean, Bill Clinton was not the first president to have a little ding dong going on in the White House. I mean, there have been other presidents that done the same thing because basically,
Mm-hmm.
a person with that much power, that means you think you get away with a lot of stuff. Now, in my family situation, I come from a family where the men in my family have a reputation of being having a fond liking of the ladies and have multiple ladies on the side and what have you. I was fortunate that I escaped that concept. And I
Not
said
the
that
Latinas.
because one thing you see the one this is how I look at it. When you are in a relationship, whether it be male or female, you got to deal with the entire package, which means you got to deal with all their strong points, negative points. You got to deal with all the either sequences and what have you. And some of those sequences can be major. So you do it for one person. Imagine trying to do it for two, three, or four of the opposite sex. After a while, it gets to be a little bit overwhelming. That's why for a large part, I have never been the type of a person to be a player.
Don't wanna be a player no.
So I think that men, another one of the many reasons why men cheat is you have men who you have women who want to be in who want to be in relationships, right? Say you come from a really good family, your parents are still married, and a female might say, I want to be with a man who treats me the way my father treated my mom. And then you got the male saying, well, I want somebody like my mother. That is two completely different things that people don't pick up on. You want to be in a relationship with your mother. I'm saying I want to be in a relationship with someone who treats me the way my father treated my mother. And people don't see the difference. So if that man wants to be with somebody like his mom, go be with your mother then. But you're not going to find that because that person is not your mother. That's where, in my opinion, that slack comes in and causes them to cheat because you're not going to find 100% of everything you want in one person majority of the time. So when someone is lacking in a relationship, according to the guy, he goes and seeks whatever it is he's looking for in someone else. And it may not always be an emotional thing because women, like, let's just be honest here, we're way more emotional than guys for the most part. So men might be like, you don't cook. So he's out sleeping with some chick because she cooked for him. He gonna wake up to her breakfast every day. When he come over at night, she gonna have a meal cooked. But he don't love her. He's screwing her because it's probably good, and he's getting what he want out of her. But he's going back to you because he's in love with you. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm just saying like that's one of the things that I've seen
Yeah, I've definitely
happen.
seen that too for sure. Like it reminds me of the Ghost Power
Me as
movie.
well.
When Ghost was, still he would fuck Tasha once in a while, like not really a lot. He was fucking Angela, like making love to her. But he knew Angela, I mean, he knew Tasha had the money, the kids, the paperwork, all the connects. He knew she had everything on lock. Angela was a pawn for another kind of position, and that nigga was good, Like, of course, they found out about each other, but these bitches even accepted each other at one point, was working together at one point. I know I'm talking a lot about TV shows, but again, I feel like it has a major influence because our young kids, even us, me, we gravitate to these shows. Like, I will put my phone on focus, do not disturb, cook a great meal, have wine and all kind of, what I'm saying, festive, just to watch these little ratchet shows. P Valley, same thing. Like, oh Lord, look what's going on in New Orleans. BMF, look at Mr. Charles. Oh
Hmm.
Lord. And it's like, wow, we all see this around us in our family,
Hmm.
at work, in our neighborhood, on TV, on social media, on the blogs. It's all around so much that it's like you're not even surprised when you hear about it. I think the biggest thing people were surprised about was Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie and Jennifer, the girl from Friends. But we all saw that coming.
Aniston, yeah.
Jennifer Aniston. Like we all love Jennifer Aniston. She was quote unquote America's sweetheart. They did Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and now he done got 8 kids with her, adopted, real birth ones, and poor little Jennifer Aniston. Like, wow, America's
Hmm.
sweetheart. Like it happens all the time, all around us. So it's only realistic that people be like, you know what, if they can do it, I can do it, or I can be better at it.
So,
And
Irby, I'm sorry.
And also, there's another element that's involved. Like, for example, when the man strays and goes and has an affair with someone else, and if that person, for whatever reason, does not use protection, so therefore, what he's doing, he's exposing himself to the possibility of getting STDs, not only him, but his lady. So basically, so what he's doing is not only he's betraying the trust of his partner, but he may be putting his life, his health, and the health of his lady in danger because of his stupidity and thinking with the wrong head. If you catch my drift.
Absolutely. I want to
Yeah.
know what all you guys
So
think about Irby's comment that I highlighted in the chat.
that's what I was about to comment on. So I think some women, there's different reasons why different women accept cheating. Some women just have low self esteem, and it's like um, they don't necessarily think they deserve it, but on some level, they think they deserve it. So they deal with it. Some women feel like they could change the guy because at some point in time he's going to realize that he really wants to be with me and that I love him more. He'll change. That is the worst thing anybody could ever think, if it was a man or female, that you could change somebody. You cannot change a person. That person has to want to change themselves. And a lot of women think that they could change these men. And that is not the case. Like, you just look stupid. That's my opinion. You just look stupid at this point. And then I hate when you see the women go after the other female. There is like no loyalty amongst females. I'm sorry. Um, like, I'm not gonna sleep with you knowing that you are in a relationship. I don't care what like if your relationship is on a downward spiral or whatever. I don't care. I'm not gonna sleep with you if you're in a relationship. But the spouse is so quick to go after the other female. Yes, we should know better as females to not do that to another female. However, it does happen, but I don't know you. You don't owe me loyalty, but I would expect it because we're females, but it doesn't happen. You need to be going after that man. He's the one that's in your bed every night. He's the one you're in a relationship with. People just accept things sometimes also because they may think that they can't do any better than the person they're with. They accept it because this person whooping their ass and they scared to leave. There's just so many reasons why women accept it, and you may not know the real reason because a lot of people don't tell the truth about their relationships to other people. They don't speak on why they really accepting it. They just kind of keep it to themselves. So nobody's gonna know the truth.
Anybody else? Thank you, Daniel. I could definitely relate to all of that. Anybody else want to take
Mm-hmm.
a jab at that? What Irby said.
Yeah, I'll go. It's also people. A lot of people tend to forget as well that it's women that do enjoy having the man that other women want,
Mm-hmm.
or having the man that they feel that other women are chasing after.
That's
Who
true.
was the who was the who was the chick that made that song? He's mine. You might have had him once, but I got him
Oh
all the
yeah,
time. Y'all know that
yeah.
song. It's and it's certain women
You
too. Like
had
you
the
can't like
time, and in these games, you had the one for his,
exactly.
me on his. I love that.
And you know what's crazy? Like it's certain women too that if they're used to dealing with a certain type of man,
Mm-hmm.
them if they're, and we're talking about differences in ages here, because the younger you are, the more immature you are. And you got
Mhm.
certain women too, if they're in their 20s and they got a man that don't cheat, they feel like that's not exciting enough for them.
Mhm.
Because, or if they feel like if nobody is really chasing after him, do I really got something worth having? You got some women that think like that,
Mhm.
especially like in that age bracket. Then you got certain women too, like, I think when it comes to relationships, it's about compromise.
Mhm.
Because, like for instance, if I'm dealing with a woman that don't really cook, you know, sweetheart, can you cook me something? If I'm paying all of the bills, if I'm handling my business and everything,
Mhm.
can you cook me something, please?
Mhm.
Or
Mhm.
can you learn how to cook? We can experiment with different recipes and everything. But if you're going to be dealing with somebody that's not really cooking or don't really do this, or I ain't your mother and all that, I'm like, okay, you know what, bet. Because this is where it's going to be going. And if also if a man is not getting, you know, if someone is not, meeting him halfway within that relationship, a woman that, treats him better is going to be more appealing. So
Right.
he's going to be like, you know what? She's really like, she really treats me the way, I expect to be treated because I treat her the same way. So if he feels like that things are not going well, and if you don't really want to change, then he's going to start stepping out. Sometimes he will come back because both men and women have too much invested in relationships after you stay together for a long period of time. So
Right.
people can say, you need to let that go, but sometimes that's difficult to just let it go because you've been
Mhm.
invested. You've been invested for so long. It's just like being in the stock market or something. You invested your time, your money. She's got to know your family. You
Energy.
got to know her family. It's ups and
Mhm.
downs, energy. It's ups and downs in relationships. So sometimes they'll be like, well, I cheated because of this. Are you going to change? Are you going to do this and that? But what you said with people, you can't change anybody. Some people put on their facade and say, yeah, and they may try to change for the next couple of months so they feel like they got you where they want you again, and then they go back to being them.
Mhm.
So
And
that plays a big part in it too.
One
people need to
second.
realize that
Anybody else
you
got a comment regarding the highlighted topic at the bottom of the screen?
Mm,
Okay, then go ahead.
so I want to respond to that what he just said, and people also need to realize that throughout the course of a relationship, you're going to be in a relationship with different people within that same person. We got together in high school. Now we're in college. I'm not that same person I was 4 years ago. Now we graduated college. I'm not that same person I was in college. You know what I mean? So I think the evolution of a person and the relationship is inevitable, and you got to be willing to remember what made you like that person in the first place or made you fall in love with that person. And although the person has changed, if it's not a relationship ending situation, you can still grow out of that. Like, yes, I'm not the same person I was in high school. I'm older, I'm more mature. This relationship needs to evolve as well, because things that I like then, I don't like now. Things you like then, you don't like now. People forget to continue to fall in love with that person as they grow. So now it's like we're not growing together because you still stuck on the person that you fell in love with back in 2009. It's 2023.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that same person. You're not that same person. Life has happened.
That's a whole fact. That's very true too, because that's why you see people grow apart. They say that all the time. Sometimes people grow apart, or they'll say you have different friends for different reasons or different seasons, and like that's really even with relationships. Like, you may meet somebody during a season of your life where you're at a different phase and space that you wasn't previously. So things just click. And I guess even so with like, loose sexual relationships, like it just happens
Mhm.
the season of your life. You may feel like, what, I don't care, like I'm living my best life right now. I live too much of my life being scared and strict and rules, and I want to live a little bit more. I want to do things out of my character. And you may find yourself in a situation where you may be, randomly having sex with someone who you normally wouldn't, give the time of day to, or, being more risque and not using a condom, knowing the real you would be super safe sex. So it's like, it depends on the season, where you are in your life, the mindset, what's going on with you, what you see
Mhm.
around you. All that stuff really does play a part. But I do think, like, from your 20s to your 30s to your 40s, the older you get, you want to think that people have more self control. They're making better decisions,
Mhm.
not the same exact dumb decisions they made from their teens to 20s to 30s to 40s, etc. But you can't even really say that right now. I had a situation in the family recently, and these people are way above their 50s, and they just did a whole bunch of dumb stuff. And I'm just like, wow. So at the end of the day, men of all ages and all ages make the same similar mistakes. It doesn't mean because a man is 60 or 70 or 80 or 90 and he has wisdom that he won't make the same mistake a 20 or 30 or 40-year-old man won't make. Like some of these men make the same mistakes sometimes, and it's just like, how is this even possible? But things happen, so I'm definitely not trying to judge anyone here for their mistakes or,
Mhm.
their vulnerable moments, because we all made some decisions that we regret. We don't ever want to talk about. It's going to the grave with us. We going to deny that shit down to the end. Like, wasn't me. Got to prove it. Where's the DNA? You know what I'm saying? Like, we all got some things that we're not proud about that we've done in life. So, like, okay, just like cheating on spouses and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure these are things that people don't want to talk about. They want to keep behind closed doors. They want to just wish they go away. They don't want to really get into it.
Sometimes what
Yeah,
happens
those.
is like, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say those are usually some people are just self-destructive. We can all admit to that, and sometimes people get influenced to make the wrong decisions. Like you got some guys out here that'll be, like bro, like I had to tell one of my friends about his situation. I'm like, we not 21 no more. We not 22 no more, bro. We in our mid 30s. It's about time to cut a lot of that shit out. You know what I'm saying? Because the older you get, like you're like ripping and running. That's a young person sport. You're not gonna be out here competing with young people trying to get this woman and get that woman, or get this man and get that man. It's not like that. Like once you have certain relationships and you've invested your time with that particular person, if it's something that you can work on, that's something that need to be, because once you've invested all of your time and the qualities, if that person has the main qualities that you need as a relationship, that as time goes on, you're gonna want to hold on to that, because nobody's trying to get out here and keep re-meeting new people and doing all of this, and I'm gonna just do this on the side and have to sneak around. Nah, and that's something too. Like a person that's in their 50s doing dumb stuff like that, that's just a self-destructive person. Or maybe they just they just don't care, because it comes to a point in time where after you've become a certain age, your main priority is your family and your children, and making sure you invested into that, and teaching the next generation on the mistakes that you made, or how to avoid certain situations. You don't want to be still out there in the field trying to play around. Like, nah, in my personal opinion.
As I was about to say, sometimes what can cause people to cheat is sometimes people have um, outrageous expectations or unreasonable expectations placed on each other. Like, for example, you like to hear whether it be the ladies or the men say, "Well, I'm not doing that. That's that's wifey chores or that's husband chores." I mean, how many times have we heard what about a man that's being responsible, paying the bills, and and he's taking care of business with himself and this lady, and then the man asks the lady to make him a meal, and it's like, no, that's wifey. That's a wifey job. Well, okay, fine. If you don't, okay, you don't have to do wifey duties if you're not a wife. But then again, it's kind of hard to expect a man to do husband duties when you're not prepared to do wifey duties. And the same thing goes wrong. I mean, a man cannot expect his lady to do wifey duties if he's not prepared to do husband duties.
Yep, that's a whole fact. Husband duties, take out the trash, pay the bills, do the manly things that the woman shouldn't be doing in the house. If we want to do the gender role things, yep, that's how it should be. And if not, let's not play these games. We're just dating. We're not pretending to be shacked up or in love or whatever, whatever. We want to play the appropriate roles. And that's another thing too. I feel like people get too comfortable, too good because the sex is good, or it may be a money thing. The man or the woman may be just throwing gifts and money at a person. So you feel obligated to just want to do more because you're getting something that you really want. Y'all don't really know each other, but you're liking something that you really probably aren't getting at home or from anyone else you ever been with. So it's like, okay, I'll deal with this. But really, there's problems, there's red flags, but we're just ignoring that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at this point, I think that I see there's no one else in the chat, but I really wanted more people to join in to like pretty much give their perspectives on why they think this happened. And I think what, for everyone, depending on your age, your demographic, your geographic, your culture, where you're from, how old you are, it really varies. Like we all said, there's just so many reasons why this realistically happens. And I want to just do a recap from everybody on the screen right now. There's five of us, so what do we want to sum this up as? We have more men here than women, which is great, which is what I wanted. So to sum this up from everybody, what are your main focal points on why I want to say men cheat? Anyone can go at any time.
It's
Okay,
just
well,
so many reasons.
okay, I'll go ahead and go real quick because I gotta head out. Yeah, it's so many reasons, and like one thing as well, Kishel, when you mentioned power, it was one thing you forgot to mention when it came to the dynamic between Angela and Ghost, is that Ghost knew Angela before he jumped into the streets, and Angela loved him for who he really was, versus
Mm-hmm.
um versus Tasha, who wanted him to remain in that life. That was one thing a lot of people failed to remember. Tasha wanted Ghost to stay in that
True.
life.
Very true.
He wanted to become legitimate, and that's where they started to drift apart because just like Tommy, she didn't want him to change either, and he felt like the person who he originally was more compatible with Angela than it was with Tasha, because Tasha liked the fast money. She had become accustomed to that lifestyle, and she didn't want anything. She didn't want what he wanted to do to compromise that. So, but and then she started cheating because he became more and more distant. But yeah, like it's a multitude of reasons. People, because some people grow apart, and some people just don't want to be honest and say, "Look, this ain't working," because they scared of losing what they've invested in for so long. And then sometimes it's just like certain things that they feel like, because the more and more people live around each other, people, it's certain things that irks each other's nerves. So they may not like certain characteristics about a person, or like, man, when we got together, you used to do this, you used to do that. You don't do this no more. You don't do that, and they may run. They still want you to have that. Um, they still want you to have that need to want to please, please the significant other. And when you run past people outside the relationship that's willing to do that, then that makes people kind of drift in that direction, even though they may love who they are actually with. So it's a multitude of reasons.
Thank you, Rakim. I really appreciate you giving your final thoughts on a conversation. Would anyone else like to give their final thoughts on tonight's conversation?
Mm, let's see.
Well, I know Jose has to leave soon. So
Well,
KT, would you like to give your
yeah,
closing thoughts? Okay. Sorry, KT. Go ahead, Jose.
no, I think she wanted to say something, so I'll let her go ahead.
Kevin,
Huh?
you have
No,
something to say?
I thought you was going. That's why I ain't saying anything. But you know, it's tough.
I have another guest coming up. I'm gonna introduce Introvert Baweekwa. Good evening, Introvert Ramon. How are you?
Hey, good evening, chica. How you doing? What's going
And
on, Don Jose? What's
Good
going on, fam?
evening.
Hey,
so
what's going on? What's going
we,
on?
we were talking about why men cheat. They were giving final reviews, but you can jump in and give your 2 cents or 3 cents or your wisdom or your juice to us tonight. We talked about a lot of things. I don't know if you caught anything, but we were just talking about all the reasons or some of the many common reasons why men, sway away from their wives or their girlfriends or their baby mothers or relationships, and we just want all different kind of reasons why that happens. So would you like to add any reasons you feel that happens with men?
Sure thing, Michelle. And I assure you, I won't be long because I'm not even at home. I'm in the middle of some things, but I did wanted to kind of like jump in and add my 2 cents, like you said. So, reasons that men cheat. Um, as you know, Michelle, and the young lady on the panel, women are very simple. Women are very simple. So the reasons why we will cheat on our significant other are usually very simple ones that have to do with being deprived of something, something that is missing, something that is usually if the guy has his mind in the right place as he should, if he feels like he needs to go to someone else, it's usually because he's missing something, something he's not getting at home, something that he's deprived of, affection. Women do need attention to a degree, but if he's being denied the attention of his woman, he's being denied the affection, he's being denied of the intimacy, because there are women that play that game. They use there is the old expression of using sex as a weapon. Us men, the only real way that we can connect with you literally is kind of like with the intimacy and the love making and all of that. That's like the real thing that we can connect. If we are denied that, because there are women there are women that do play that game, then we're gonna have to seek it out something else, somewhere else. It doesn't make it right. I'm not saying that it's right, but that's just logic. That's the logic of it. I mean, now there are guys that if they cheat, maybe they do have a good woman at home um, that do meet his needs, but he's cheating because of a need for variety. That's a touchy one because it's something that even I fell into when I was younger because I was learning things and I didn't know any better. So I did make that mistake. Of course, it wasn't without consequence. So that's why I don't I don't do that anymore. I did grow out of it. I did have to pick up what the lesson was from it. I mean, but there are certain types that don't learn the lesson from it, and I can mention my own dad because my own dad. I mean, my mom and him got married when they were still kids, they were still teenagers, and they were married for a long time. But there were instances in which they did have problems. They did have problems because it's kind of like something that we have talked about, that Jose knows, that we have talked about it. And when a man is single, he's kind of invisible to women for the most part. But the moment that this one man is in a relationship with a woman, it's kind of like other opportunities start to open up because women can tell. Women can tell when a man is not single. Women can sense it. Women can smell it. Whatever, however you want to describe it. And it's too easy for men to fall into temptation because, especially these days, because these days, more than ever, more than ever, women are really being hypergamous and choosing to be with a certain type of men, with the more eligible men. And sometimes they don't even care that the man might be in a relationship already. There are women that will go for it anyway because this is a man that will kind of like tickle their fancy, and he will be more kind of like the eligible type. There are a lot of conversations going on about that, about how these days there are even 30-year-old young men that are all the way up to 30 years old and they're still virgins because they're not able to get a date. They're not able to get with a woman because a lot of the women that are dating, they're dating a small group of men that are getting all the opportunities, if you know what I mean. But there are certain guys that do have the opportunities, kind of like my dad. They grow up to be older and they still like the thrill, they still like the sport, they still like to take over all of the opportunities that they can. And that's something that I witnessed. I witnessed that with my dad because even when he was already in his 50s, he was getting with 21-year-olds. I mean, even though he was already married, because he had this thing where he wanted to be married to to a woman that he was dating for like a few months, but it didn't last long because he will marry her, but he will still wanted to act like he was single because he was one of those. I mean, I'm not. I'm throwing him. It seems like I'm throwing him under the bus, but it created problems. It created problems. It was very distracting for him. That's why my sister and I didn't really had much of a relationship with him because dating him doing what he was doing, the, doing what he was doing, that was kind of like more important to him. It was kind of like more
Um,
important for him to be.
Excuse me.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry. It's just that I do have to leave because I'm getting ready to do another night of overtime. So I
Yeah.
just want to give you my final thoughts. As I
Okay.
stated, there are many reasons why men stray, and to be perfectly honest, there are some men who are incapable for whatever reason be in a monogamous relationship. The key is to be honest, and a lot of those issues can't be resolved without the man be strained. If they have a serious conversation with with his lady regarding this is bothering me, this is bothering me, this is bothering me, and be mature enough to have a conversation. Because if they have the conversation regarding whatever is lacking in the man's life, a good man would not stray. An irresponsible man will stray no matter what, even if his lady is drop dead gorgeous and does everything right, and she's the next best thing to slice bread. So, that being said, I just want to thank you, Keisha, for allowing me on the platform. Shout out to everyone that's on the panel. And of course, I got to plug my channel. For those of you who have not subscribed, I have two channels. I have Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron, and I also have a new channel called Latina Diaspora, which we talk about issues referring to mainland Latinos, and on the main channel, we talk about everyday issues. And Kishal and Ramon has been on several times. So I'm gonna ask, if you have not done so, please consider subscribing to both my channels. And with that being said, thank you.
Hi, Jose.
All right, have a good one, Jose. Thank you so much.
Hey, take
Good
care.
night.
Take
Thank
care,
you.
Jose. Take it easy out there. All right.
Wow, look at this one. I prefer to be in
I'm gonna
polyamorous
pull it.
relationships myself. I had a stream on that last year. It went really
Yeah,
well.
we did.
Yeah, that was a touchy one too. I mean, the thing is that the whole thing about the polyamory, that's something that has to be taking into consideration the fact that there is a responsibility that goes with it. I mean, because there are guys that are all up in their hormones and they think that polyamory is just hooking up with several women at the same time. Well, there is more to it. There is more to it. I mean, if there are women that will agree to do the man has to understand that there is a responsibility that goes with it. I mean,
Mhm.
it's quite a privilege. The only thing, from my point of view, to be perfectly honest, the only thing for me that is better to have one good woman is to have two. I mean, that would be great, but that's not for everybody. That's not for
Um,
everybody, and not everyone can do that. It's
I think I think ultimately why women cheat, I mean why men cheat, no matter what the reasoning behind it may be, in my opinion, it's simply because they're not ready. They're not ready to be in a monogamous relationship. They're not ready to cater to someone, to be the head of a household. They're simply not ready. So sometimes they'll find any reason to cheat. Sometimes, like I said earlier, it might literally not be a reason. They did it just because they wanted to and cannot um, verbally express why they did it. Like it's legit no reason. And I think it all boils down to they're not ready. We as women, we men and women are raised differently. I feel like it's enamored in us to finish school, to go get a job, to have a family. Where men go to school, go get a job. And when you're ready to be with somebody, when you're ready to have a family, don't let anybody force you. When you're ready, then go ahead and do that. Women are not told that when you're ready.
Are you
And
sure? Are you sure these days? These days, are you sure that women are not being told the same thing that to get a career and live their life and only settle down when they feel like it? Are you sure that women are not being told the same thing?
I think it depends on the age range group, the bracket of who the person, 20s to 30s to teens to 40s. I feel like it's a real different situation. But I feel like
Yeah.
now, yeah, they may be being told to do that because
I'm sorry.
no problem. But probably back then, probably not. I don't know. It depends. I think.
Yeah. Because even when I was younger, I remember hearing kind of like women talking about that, saying that, oh well, you could be living. You could be living a single life until you are like at least in your late 20s, and then you can start being what they call today intentional about getting into a commitment for marriage and all of that. I mean that even when I was younger, I wasn't hearing any talk that a woman had to maybe get an education, and by the time she was 23, 24, she had to be married. I mean,
But I didn't give a number. I didn't give a time frame. I'm just saying in that order. You finish school, you get a good job, you start a family. That doesn't mean that it has to be immediately. I was
mhm.
just saying that that's something that as a female, that's what we hear a lot. And I've heard it from other females. And when Cashel, when you did that monogamous and polygamous thing that last year when we was on, um it was brought up there too. Like the way a mother and a father speak to their daughter is not the same way that they speak to their male child.
Mhm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying as soon as you find yourself a job and get acclimated, have a family. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that that's in that order, that it is more drilled into a woman about having a family versus a male. It's said more so wait and don't let nobody rush you into getting married. Don't let nobody rush you into having children. People, our parents don't really say that to females. They're not saying rush into it, but it's not being presented in the same way like it is for a man. So, and what's his name again? 18th letter. What he said, crap, I just lost my train of thought. It's not being presented the same way. I'm sorry, literally just lost my train of thought in the middle of that.
It's cool.
Mhm.
It's just it's so different, and I think that's why men
Hmm.
just cheat. They're not ready. They're not ready. And you can see that in relationships nowadays, how a woman is ready to settle down quicker than a man would be. Now, I'm not saying that's all women and all men, because there are exceptions where some men is like I'm ready and the women are not ready. But I'm saying a majority of the women are ready to settle down quicker than men are. We're more emotional than men are. We are spoken to in a different way growing up than the male child is spoken to. And because they're not really told after you get a job, settle down, do whatever you want to do, have a family, because it's not kind of drilled into them, even if it's like um subconsciously, it's not being drilled into them. So they're out here wilding out, doing whatever they want to do.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, from my point of view, is that the one main difference between men and women is that women do have a biological clock. I mean, contrary to what certain feminists would like to say, women don't have a biological clock, and women don't go through menopause. I mean, that's not a thing for us. So that might be a factor, but we're
Hmm.
living in a time we are living in a time where more and more women are having kind of like the same attitudes as to they want to be free, they want to be able to go out, they want to have their options, they want to get a career. I mean, that's not a problem. Kind of like getting an education and getting a career, and live the single life too. That's increasing. That's more of an increasing. That's more of a thing, because they're trying to do what the men do. And the thing is that, okay, a man, like you said, and you're right. A lot of men don't settle down because they're not ready. I know I wasn't. I have been ready only in the last several years that I have been more steady with a relationship. But I'm in my 40s myself. So yeah, you're right about that. A lot of young men are just not ready because they wanna have a good time, and they wanna be able to rack up numbers when it comes to number of conquests and other things. But a lot of women are willing to go along with it too, and there wouldn't be a young man, eligible man, wouldn't be able to rack up numbers if there wouldn't be women willing to go along with it. I mean, also there are also daters and things like that. Recently, we were talking about something like that when it comes to in one of my live streams, uh, in which we were talking about whether or not the box itself has power. And at some point, we did talk about these younger and younger women that are just still teenagers, like 18, 19 years old, and they're talking about in these podcasts. They volunteer to be up in this podcast, and they're talking about their rosters, meaning that they have a roster of guys that they rotate. More and more young women are doing that. Okay, yes, yes. There have been men that have been having kind of like a roster for a long time. That has been happening for a long time. Yes, yes, I'll give you that. But it's like more and more women are very much more open and open with revealing that they have rosters too, and they're and they're racking up numbers too. And
Not
you
me.
tell them
But
anything about commitment, and they start getting kind of defensive, and they start getting offended because they start bringing up the whole double standard thing. But
I,
uh
I'm sorry to cut you off. I think, but that's the issue, and that's how we as women sabotage our own happiness and sabotage ourselves. Because especially this younger generation, like I'm not saying I'm old, but I'm not saying I'm super young, because I'm 38 and I'm just not with the shits. But I feel like those young girls, they got hurt so much by these men cheating, that they like, fuck it, I'm gonna do the same thing, not realizing we are not built for that. I don't care what nobody say. Women can't act like men, because when you do, you end up hurting yourself. I can say I got a roster of 5 men that I rotate on a weekly basis. That woman, because we are so emotional, God made us emotional. Sorry for people who don't believe in God, but God made us so emotional. We can't handle that. We can't handle that. A dude could go fuck somebody and not think twice about you once he leaves. A woman is not doing that. No matter how much she lie and say she is, that's not gonna happen because we get attached. And I dislike strongly when women try to do the same thing that men do. And I get why they're trying to do it, but it does not work. And you hurt yourself. You hurt in your own feelings because it doesn't work.
Yeah, yeah. In the long term, yeah, they are
Mhm.
hurting themselves.
Amen. It
Yeah.
doesn't.
No, I agree. I
It
agree.
really don't.
Doing certain behaviors in the long term do have a consequence. So it it's like it's not. I'm not saying that they shouldn't date. They should definitely date, but having rotations, having like like a stable of tools that they rotate. I mean,
But
like
that's that dating. What you're saying is, yeah, you should date is not what they mean. Like, that's not these young girls just dating. It's like they're getting back at all the men that cheated on them. But these men don't give a shit. They fucked you, you sucked their dick, they left. You putting your body out on display for multiple men trying to get back at that probably one dude that you fell in love with that ain't give a shit about you, ain't hurting him. You are not living rent free in his head.
hmm
So it's not necessarily about, yeah, I'm out here dating and da da da. No, it's when they do that, when it's something specific like that with women and they rotate, and it's because they hurt and they trying to get over that hurt. But that's not how you don't get over hurt by getting under somebody else because you making it worse for yourself.
yeah.
But some people got to go through that trauma and they put themselves through that trauma to come out okay on the other side. Sometimes you don't come out okay, but we got to go through the mud until we realize, wow, like that shit ain't work. And then maybe they'll change. And there's nothing wrong with dating. And dating means I might go out with you on Monday, go out with her on Tuesday, go out with him on Wednesday. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to sleep with somebody to date someone. But
hmm
that whole roster, it's because that man cheated on her. And so now she like, fuck it, I'm gonna be heartless too. I could do the same thing. No, you can't. You can't do it. We not women, we not built like that. But a lot of women like to talk and act like they are. We not built like that.
Well, yeah, yeah, they could be lying. They could be lying. They could be making up all these stories about all of these numbers that they're racking up. Yeah, they could be lying. Uh, but something
No, they
tells me
could
that
be telling the truth. They could be telling the truth. They slept with these people, but the underlying issue is because they kept getting cheated on. But what I'm saying is, we can't do what men do because the emotions that men have after they cheated on somebody is not the same type of emotions a female is gonna have.
hmm
We can't
Oh
we
yeah,
can't
yeah.
all
Because
do the same
there are
thing.
guys there are guys that could be doing just for the sport of it because there is kind of like a hunting like a hunting element to it, and if the man is being able to attract the prey and makes the conquest, then that's another notch in the belt, so to speak. So it can be kind of like a sport. Uh, so yeah, that's true. That's true. That's something that happens with certain younger men's behaviors, but that's because they get the opportunities. They get the opportunity, so they say, "So to hell with it." I mean, I'm taking advantage of these opportunities. But the thing is that that doesn't happen for most men. I know it didn't happen for me. Yes, I did date it. Yes, I did have a few relationships, not that many, but there are the guys that do get a lot of opportunities, and those are the guys that a lot of women want them to settle down with them. And there are a lot of women that get with these guys that are serial daters, and they know it, and a lot of women know it, but they like to tell themselves like, I'm the one that's gonna change him. I'm the one that's gonna make him settle down with me. That's right.
Mhm.
It's kind of like trying to win the competition because women are very competitive with each other, and you ladies know that. So there is that element. There is that element to it.
Absolutely, definitely. It's
Hmm.
always like that. And I feel like, men can tell when they see a woman that's in a happy relationship, and women can tell when they see a man that's in a happy relationship, and that's so attractive. It makes you just like, it's like, I gotta get him, I gotta get her. It's like,
Oh
if
yeah,
on board,
yes,
they know, like you said, like they know when you happy in a relationship, like they definitely know. They're like, all right, let me try to fuck this shit up right now because whatever he doing, I want that same glow, or whatever she doing, I want that. Like it's so crazy and petty, but there are people out there that think that way.
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Well,
I don't remember. I don't remember how it used to be. How it used to be. And yeah, I did make my mistakes, but that was because I wasn't used to having more than one opportunity at the same time. So I felt the temptation. Yeah, I admit it. I admit it. But I learned from it. I learned from it. I don't do those things anymore.
I think we all go through it. That's how we learn to value ourselves differently and better, and not make those risque decisions because we know we can kind of see it coming. Like, okay, this ain't gonna be worth it. This gonna be drama. This gonna be a waste of time because
Right.
we'll smell it or see it on them before they open their mouth. Like for me and
Mhm.
Daniel, we could be outside going to the store, going to work, whatever. Always that one guy that you can see him looking at you from 5 blocks away. When he
Mhm.
gets closer, you already know he's gonna say something. He's gonna try to call you beautiful. He's gonna pretend to offer to pay for you. He's gonna you can just tell he's gonna try you. And
Right.
you can just tell he's been in jail, he been shot, he been stabbed, he hits women. You can just tell all over him like, bitch, run away, not him. Run, 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 go, go hell. And it's mostly a situation where you gotta still try to be nice in the situation because these niggas out here crazy and you don't want them to think
Mhm.
you're disrespectful. So although you're not giving him your number, you're not giving him no time of the day,
Yeah,
you gotta be nice
I
to
hear a
this,
lot of things.
because he could be like, what, bitch, I'll kill you. Like, oh no, 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 no.
Right.
Like
I hear crazy stuff. I hear about crazy stuff about dudes in New York City that they don't take the rejection well, and they start acting out. I mean,
That's
like,
anywhere.
yeah,
God
it's
damn.
true.
No, no, it's just that. Well, it's much less likely for that to happen down here because I mean, it can get you shot. A lot of people carry guns here
Yeah, I got guns
legally.
down there.
Yeah, yeah, but down here it's kind of like less likely, and it's also a southern state, so I mean, manners are a little bit more absurd, to be perfectly honest, because I have heard a lot of things about New York City. About I'm not saying you guys, I'm not saying you, but I have heard so many times about how certain people in New York City can be very rude. Alright?
They rude as
And
hell.
Yeah, even women, New Yorkers are rude. Like kids too. Like everybody up here is rude. I ain't gonna lie.
Listen, this is the concrete jungle, and people act like they're really in the fucking jungle. They disrespectful as hell.
okay, I still would
Like,
like to be.
Like a man to jump in front of you and take your taxi and everything. Like it's crazy.
Okay, yeah, okay, yeah, I still would like to visit. Eventually, I still would like to
where are
visit.
you?
Huh?
Where are you?
I'm in the Dallas area.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm in
Yeah,
Texas.
he down there where they got steak and cows fresh on the rack just to grill it. Yeah, he got all
Yeah,
that.
and it's warm down here too. It's warm right now. Yeah, I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it for
Mm,
anything because I don't know. I don't know how's the temperature up there.
it's
I mean,
cold.
if it's
Yeah, it's cold up
exactly,
here.
and I know that Jose loves it, but I feel for you guys because it's already March. It should be warming up.
Yeah, we still wearing big jackets and like we still layered up here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's kind of like why I don't move out of the south because I do like I do like the cold to be the winters to be short. I want the winter to be short. I can't be like in April and still snowing, having to deal with snow. I couldn't live like that. I couldn't do it.
But it be like 100 in Texas, don't it?
No, no, well, not right now. It's kind of like in the 70s.
Oh, okay. But in the summertime though, it can hit 100 out there though, right?
Oh no, in the summer. Oh yeah, I was talking about right now, but in July it can go all the way up to the 110s. Like
That's
it's got
ridiculous.
I'm not ready for that. I love
100. It can be 114 degrees.
Like,
Oh yeah, yeah,
why? That's
that's
yep,
crazy.
crazy.
yeah, 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 yeah. You have to be careful. Keep yourself hydrated, and hopefully you have a good air conditioner at home. So because it can
100%.
get
That sound like death.
Sound
yeah,
like
yeah.
a high ass Con Edison bill. I'm good.
Well, to some people that need to keep the air conditioner 24 hours a day on, yeah, I just keep it as long as necessary to keep costs down. But yeah, yeah, I can handle heat better than I can handle cold because if I breathe cold air, yeah, I can get bronchitis.
Mm.
And yeah,
But so
I,
now we need to talk about why women cheat next.
I
why
actually did
women do
a
what?
stream about that. Why women cheat. I did have an open panel about it. It went for like an hour and like
Oh,
50
I missed that.
minutes. You definitely missed it. But everyone was telling me I need to do a part three. They're like, this needs a part three, so I may do part three next week because people asked me to do a part three to that.
Okay.
Yeah, 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 yes. Because the reasons for why men cheat are relatively simple, but women, because women are more into their emotions, there is more of a myriad of reasons why women will cheat, and one of the reasons could be because a woman can also feel neglected. Maybe she will
Hmm.
be getting with somebody else because she's also feeling neglected, and women are more likely to feel lonely because a man can be alone and be okay, be at peace for the most part. Eventually a man can also feel lonely, and but be at peace. But when it comes to women fall into depression really quick when they feel lonely, and
Whoa,
that's why.
whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah,
Wait a minute.
no,
Because
but
that
women
but that
but
lonely
women
you're
need to
talking about,
socialize more to
but
prevent
that
that. That's why. Uh-huh.
but that loneliness you just spoke about is more of a physical loneliness than an emotional loneliness, because trust, women could be by themselves and be okay, but when you're in a relationship and you feel emotionally neglected, that type of loneliness that the women feel in relationships is not the same type of loneliness. You said a man could just be by himself and be okay. Women can be by themselves and be okay, but in the relationship, that emotional phase, if you're not reciprocating the emotions, that's a whole different type of loneliness. That's not a physical loneliness.
Hmm.
Hmm. Okay.
For
Okay.
the woman,
No.
that is. Maybe the men
For
don't look
the
at it like that, but for the
right,
woman, they
maybe,
look at it like
but for the woman, yeah. Because
No.
I'm chilling in my
Uh-huh.
house by myself right now. I'm good. People call me, I look at the phone and I just don't pick up because I don't want to fucking talk to you right now. Like, I'm good with being alone, but I could be here. My man could be in the living room.
Hmm.
He watch TV on phone, playing games, whatever the fuck he want to do. I don't know. He could be at his mother's house and I'm here alone. I don't. I'm good. But that emotion, if I'm telling you I love you, if I want to physically connect with you and you don't want to, if I want to emotionally connect with you, let's talk, let's read, like whatever it might be, and you're not there emotionally, I'm
Hmm.
absolutely lonely. And a woman will absolutely cheat
that.
based off of emotion. Men
Hmm.
cheat because they get the opportunity to cheat. Um, it's easier for a man to cheat because women are just like throwing themselves. But when we cheat, women think about shit. It's very calculated.
Yeah,
I'm
like we
not
have to want to be with the nigga and shit.
I'm not cheating solely because I want some dick. It's deeper than that with women. And I think that's why men can't handle that either. Men can't handle when they get cheated on.
It's
Women
definitely
can't handle when they get cheated on either, but men are more likely to kill your ass if you cheat on them and women are not.
yeah. We can understand and move on and start over and do a new slate and
I mean, granted, some women are crazy. They slash tires. They do
Hmm.
stupid shit. Men be murdering people, like because they can't handle that. But you caused probably that emotional cheating which led to the physical cheating for a woman. They can't handle that. Men can't handle that. It is so much deeper than me just physically sleeping with somebody. That's what gets them. And once a female cheats emotionally, it is very hard to get the female back. Once
Yeah,
that
it's almost like a
emotion,
disrespect. It's like she don't even respect you no more. Like she opened her
right?
legs to another man. Like she don't even respect you as her king, as her man, as her nothing. Like she let another man touch your stuff. It's like you're dead to me almost. Like I really went to another man and gave him all of me because of some shit you did.
But you see the difference with women. Women take men back after they cheat. Women don't forget, but they are quicker to forgive a man for cheating than a man is a woman, because and that shows, I think that shows the weakness of a man. Because if I can forgive you for doing the same thing I just did to you, why can't you forgive me? Because they know that it's deeper than just something
Yeah,
physical.
yeah, it's not the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's
It's
not the
not the
same
same
thing.
thing. They can't
There
handle
is,
it.
yeah, there is more. There are more implications to it because there are men that can cheat just because it's kind of like a crime of opportunity.
Like
It's
I
just because.
said, they have the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And don't even
So
tell them to keep
it doesn't involve
it.
his feelings. It doesn't involve his heart. It doesn't involve who he actually loves, because a man can love the woman, but maybe he is doing dirt on the side for the sport of it, for the entertainment of it. It has nothing to do with how he feels. But
That's the tricky part because women take it as totally like you disrespectful motherfucker. How dare you do da 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 da? All I've done for you da da da
mhm.
da da. All this time we spent da 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 da. All these kids we raised, and like women just take it back to
Yeah, and
the
the
whole
kids may,
journey of the
and the thing
relationship.
is that the main woman may still be the priority. The kids may still be the priority, but it was a little something that was done on the side for the entertainment of it, and then he goes back to 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 the wife and still loves her very much. She's still the priority. The kids are still the priority. I mean, the ones that can kind of like can keep it differentiated from the other. Now there are the weak dudes that will actually break up the home and for the woman, but that's not how it happens most of the time, especially these days, because as you know, uh, like most of the divorces are actually started by the woman, and the man tries to work things out. I mean, when there are
What?
problems, the women are more likely to walk away
That's
because when they're married, definitely, because they know that if they are married and the woman wants to walk away for
That's
whatever the reason, she
yeah.
wins. She wins in the divorce. She wins. She knows.
That's a whole nother podcast. That is not completely true. I don't know. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
No, that's fine. It's just that there are numbers that suggest that women are more likely to walk away. I
No,
mean, men
yeah,
are more likely
that
to
I agree with.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it depends on the circumstance. I honestly think it
Yeah.
depends on the lifestyle, like the situation. Depending on if a woman is gonna walk away or if a man is gonna walk away. It depends on like if there's kids involved, there are mutual assets. I feel like all of that plays a big part. Now, if there's nothing involved, attached, no kids, no banks, no mutual shared properties or anything like that, it's
Mhm.
probably like okay, anybody can walk away. Like I don't care. But when
The
all that
part
other
that
stuff
I
is involved, is like
mhm.
you gotta think
No, the part I didn't agree on what he said was the men are more likely to try to work it out. Like where? That I don't know if I agree with that part.
sometimes I feel like maybe 10% of men. I can't even go higher than that.
That's what I'm saying.
Only 10%. You sure?
Like 10%.
I mean, from
Yeah,
my
I will have to
experience,
look up
I
the
can't
numbers
say
on that,
10%.
but
I can't
Maybe
say exactly.
9.75. Maybe
uh,
9.75.
yeah, sure. Yeah, we're the yeah, sure. We are the ones that are breaking up the happy homes, even though in the divorce we're
Mhm.
gonna be the ones that get taken to the cleaners. I
So y'all
mean,
the
you
ones
really.
that want to be in the strip clubs making it rain on these little
Mhm.
21, 31-year-old girls.
Mhm.
But men, a lot of men in divorces don't even fight. So, she got the house because she got the kids. Why you didn't fight for your kids?
He could have fight, but he could have been ruined because the system is already rigged to extract the most out of the man. So
Men
It,
don't. I think men
now
don't
that
fight hard
it
enough,
dep-
and that's not for
yeah,
all men.
I
That's
was
not
about
for all
to say
men.
that. I was about to say that men,
Yeah.
the information out there is just the lack of information that
Hmm.
men have. But if they have the information, everything is negotiable. Everything. So house,
Hmm.
kids, school, insurance, all that is negotiable. Long as the
And as
man
a
got his stuff right,
hmm
everything's up for discussion.
and that as a man, if you going into the situation with that mindset, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose. I don't see men out there fighting for 50-50 custody of their kids. No, I'm going to take my kids to school as well. We might not live in the same household, but no, I want them every weekend or every other weekend, every other holiday. Men, because they hate these women so much at that point, they only thinking about monetary things. Why I gotta pay so much child support? Because if we were still together and you were still in this house, you would be providing more monetarily for your children than you do when you're outside of the household.
That's
You
and
spend
that's
more
if you don't
money
have
in
other
the house
kids too
and
outside
and
of you.
you right, but you spend more money while you're actually in the household than you do when you're separated, because you as a man don't feel like I'm being pressured into giving up money. So if my kid need a coat, I'ma just go buy them a coat. But when you separated and a woman says your daughter need a coat, the man, so go get her a coat. It's an argument. It's something. But if you was in the house, it wouldn't be that. You'd be like, all right, let's go shopping. You understand what I'm saying? Like it I don't know. I've been through it already. So
I
I
feel
already know.
you.
I'm sorry.
I mean, I guess everyone is from a different ethnic background or geographical background, so maybe everybody on the panel can relate to what you and I can
Yeah.
relate. Everyone doesn't see the things we see. So
Yeah.
maybe everyone just doesn't see it that way, and it's understandable because we all
It's
come from different areas.
right. I get it.
But I'm hungry, y'all. I want to wrap this up and go eat some food. But I'm
All
so
right.
happy I had all of you guys up here to give me 2 and 3 cents and 4 cents, and it was nice to meet you, KC. But I'm definitely gonna wrap this up, and I'll probably do a part 3 to Why Woman Cheat because Ramon was like, you just scratched the surface, so I may do next week and
Yeah.
open panel and let people chime in because we're both men and women. We all four agree here. There's just too many reasons. We can't just say the top
Yeah.
10 or the top 5 or it's just so many reasons, and I feel like it's a great conversational piece as well. So I definitely want to, really for real wrap this up right now and just, get any final points from all of you before I lock it out.
Nah, I said one piece. I just don't think. I think the underlying issue is just men are just not ready. They're not ready the way women are normally ready. In terms of settling down, being monogamous or whatever. And I think that's one of the bigger reasons why they cheat. Although there are a plethora of reasons, that's like one of the main reasons. They're not ready.
Right, I feel you on that. KC, would you like to give us some closing words and remarks? Thank you for coming up here and being on the panel. I appreciate that.
We just need to take accountability and what we want. Like it's easier said than done, but hey, if you feel you're gonna cheat, then leave. But if not, you gotta live with that and deal with the consequences. If you get caught, you gotta deal with it. If not, then hey, go from there.
I feel you. Ramon, any final words? Thank you for popping in. I'm appreciate you. I know you're not in a comfortable place and you're like out and about. So thank you for popping
No,
in.
no, definitely, definitely. I was looking forward to it. It's just that a little something came up, and I had to, and I'm having to be out and about. But two things. The first, when you do the third live stream, when you do that third live stream, try to make sure that to have as many women on your panel as possible. Because something that I'm noticing is when it comes to certain subjects that have to do with kind of like what we're talking about, it's kind of like we men are the ones left to talk about the subject for the most part. So somebody, if you have other female friends like Danielle that can come up on the panel that are willing to tell the truth and not just and not just get on the panel and blame everything on men. then that will be a very interesting panel, informative, something that I will definitely be looking forward to listen to tune in for, because I'm always listening. I'm always listening to what women are saying. I mean, I take pride in being a man, but I'm always listening to what women are saying, because I'm always trying to pick up on something. I'm always trying to learn to learn something. I mean, somebody like myself, I might have a certain opinions in which I talk out of pride in manhood, because I take pride in being a man. We're living in a time where a man being proud of being a man automatically is considered to be misogynistic, um, or somebody who has patriarchy, tyrannical patriarchy beliefs, and it's none of that. I mean, I listen to women. I mean, I don't be talking to men and talking about the inferiority of women. I don't do that. But I do take pride in being a man, and I do take pride in my heterosexuality, which is starting to become more and more of a crime. And I listen to what women talk about. That's the first thing when it comes to the panel. And there was something else that I wanted to. Oh, I lost my train of thought. I was thinking about something else. I say two things, and the second thing I forgot. Hot damn! I can't think. I
Don't
don't know.
worry, that's happened to me. I literally forgot in the middle of the thought.
It's the
Yeah.
pressure of knowing, like, I ain't gonna get it out. Somebody's gonna talk over me, and they're gonna make me forget. That's what it is.
Oh shit, shit.
Nah, I think I'm
No.
getting old.
Yeah. Well. I mean, in a few years I'm gonna be 50, so that's affecting me too.
Hey, you're
But
looking good though, so keep up the good work.
hey, Kichel, I appreciate you having me on your panel. I know that I tuned in kind of late, but I did wanted to be able to chime in a little bit, and I look forward to the next one. Thanks for
No
having me.
doubt.
Hmm.
Thank you so very much. Well, everyone has heard it. Why Men Cheat. We had about 5 to 6 people jump in the panel in the chat to give their 2 cents, their 3 cents, their Jews, their point of views on why this shit be happening, why niggas be doing what they be doing. But to each his own. We all have different experiences. We come from different walks of life. So some of us can relate to these things, some of us cannot relate because some of us seen it in our household growing up. Some of us see it on TV. Some of us see it at work. Some people see it in our neighborhood. So it's each his own. But honestly, at the end of the day, like Ramon said, we want to get like a realistic answer. We want to get the people who are the topics to be on the stage to say, what's the real tea? Why does this happen? Same thing with the woman. We want the women to be on the panel to like really speak their focal points and not, try to sway the conversation to make it all vague and ambiguous up in the air. So thank you guys for joining in with me. Shout out to everybody here on the panel. Introvert Bariqua, KC, Danielle, everyone who appeared earlier on Comments Since We're Holding the Grown, the 18th letter. The chat, we had Irby Fatal, we had Just Chillin'. I hope I'm not forgetting nobody else that was in the chat right now, but it's all love. Thank you guys for chilling out with me for another episode of Wine and FaceTime. This is actually episode 17. I done done 17 joints already, like for this season. It's like, wow, time is going super duper fast. So if y'all want me to talk about part 3, Why Women Cheat, you can put a comment in the chat in the replay or afterwards, and that probably will be what I'll be talking about. So I'll throw a poll on social media, see what ladies want to come up and be all real and not all cute behind their eyelashes and their makeup, and they want to really tell the tea. So I'm gonna try my best, as Introvert said, get the ladies up here to talk and really spill the tea and not just be cute, but giving us the real deal.
You
So
know, I'm gonna be up here.
I know Danielle gonna be up here, so hopefully please, maybe I can get Sutton Satin or Blessed Beauty 78 or Morena or Hazel Green or any of these beautiful ladies I met through Uncommon Sense and Introvert and Rakim and everyone else. But if not, we're gonna do our best to represent, to tell why we do this. But Ramon, women ain't gonna tell all the tea. They ain't give it all out. They're gonna just tell you what we want you to know, not what you need to know. So we ain't
I'm
gonna
gonna tell him.
but some like Danielle may tell us, he like, well, listen, if you're not hitting the sweet spot, it's gonna happen.
Cause you already know me. Like definitely gonna tell it.
Yeah, that's why women that are willing to tell the truth, to tell it like it is, are very valuable. I mean, they're rare, they're valuable. I admire them because they're
I
actually
sure
willing to
am.
tell it like
Thank
it is.
you.
Oh, oh,
That's so
Okay,
cute.
okay, I know, I know. You can pat yourself on the back. That's fine.
Yeah, she's very outspoken, so I admire that. A lot of people are not outspoken because they're so worried about what people think of them. Hence, that was
Yeah,
definitely me. But it's all
Mhm.
good though. We go through shit. What doesn't kill us makes us stronger. It's all right.
Right.
But again, it was nice to meet
All
you,
right.
Casey. Hope you guys have a great evening and a great weekend. We still got one more day for the weekend, so live your best life from
Yes.
tonight until
yeah, yeah.
Sunday,
We
5
sure will.
a.m.
Sure will. Sure will.
All right.
Later.
Good night, guys. Bye.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
You too.